it's like when you start a brand, right? You don't make off money off your friends. I'm not going to make money off giving you a t-shirt, but your friends that want to buy the t-shirt, you better believe I'm going to make money. So it's kind of like one of those things, right? It's getting to the root, especially in entrepreneurship, you have to get to the root of what you want to do and who you want to sell to, because if you don't, you're going to miss the boat. And I see it all the time with brands.
Marketing made me the coolest, most powerful marketing podcast in the world.
real in real time.
Yeah. Today's episode, we're talking about entrepreneurship.
Yep.
It's going to be an overall theme of this entire podcast, inevitably. We have two interns. Shout out to Carly and Daniel.
Woo-hoo.
They have been so brave to partake in
hang out with us.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I was telling a friend of mine a couple weeks ago is that inadvertently this internship that they're experiencing is going to expose them to a lot of entrepreneurial things. It's not a typical internship. It's not we're a corporate office and they come in and we need 25 copies every day, and what I mean, like secretarial stuff.
That's a great comment, because I think like for me, when we talk about entrepreneurism or entrepreneurship, it's the mindset, right? Like, let's talk about Dave and Carly. The mindset, they're coming in knowing that this could be something big, and the other portion, this could be a complete failure. So they're already understanding the grind and the hustle when in being an entrepreneur. So I think they've taken the leap, because for myself and you, the hardest part in being an entrepreneur is taking that leap and saying, I'm gonna do this, right? Like to say, I'm gonna do this and I'm not going to get paid for a while, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to have fun and I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
So I think the mindset for me was the biggest challenge, because I come from this corporate sector where like big paycheck and safety net, and then you go to be an entrepreneur, then it's like, I got so much to do, then I got to chase billing, right? Like we had a conversation earlier about billing, and it should be the best part because you're chasing money, but it's a pain in the ass because you can't focus on it. So I truly believe the mindset is the very first part that somebody has as a hurdle that they have to get over, because once they get over that, then it's just uphill, or the momentum starts to go, so.
Yeah, and I never even asked them, how they feel about entrepreneurship,
Sucker.
But when I was having that conversation with my friend too, he said, well, that's a good thing, to expose them to that, because whether you decide to work for another business, at least if you have a little bit of personal go-getting attributes in your personality, you can always be like a cat and land on your feet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I think, what has led me to entrepreneurship.
I think too, it's understanding at the ground floor the raw nature of, and when you first start something, especially a sport, being an entrepreneur, there's just so much information that's out there you want, right? But there's a
now.
There's a true, how would I say this? There's a true foundation in putting that work into something, not knowing what the outcome is, paying your dues, pounding the pavement, like guerrilla marketing, that all leads to something, because once you get to like the next level and you get to the corporate sector, the funding is there, you understand what it takes to be on the bottom, and then at the same time, then you get to learn how to execute, right? Like you get to learn how to execute some type of marketing plan or your idea, right? So I really truly believe starting on the bottom is amazing, because it's the grit that you're gonna have to keep going to get you to the top. And then when you're put into this setting where it's just normal for you just to go and grit, it's like, then it'll show, then you stand out against your competitors or your colleagues, right?
Yeah, or you would hope so, because some people don't get the recognition, and corporate world can be cutthroat. A lot of times it's just dependent on preferential treatment, aka ass kissing.
That's what they call it, ass kissing.
I was trying to think of a more PC
know
way.
Someone to get somewhere, open the door for you, which is okay.
Everyone has a different experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a female Hispanic woman. There's stigmas surrounding that in corporate world, thinking that women have to work twice as hard, and the same could be just said for just minorities in general. But so corporate life, I did my years in corporate America,
Yeah, so did I.
There's a lot of like, I don't know, not very nice stories. I mean, there is politics in offices. Maybe that's kind of what pushed me to want to work for myself. Also, you know, I've just always been somebody that has been, I think, an out-of-the-box thinker. You know, I started a magazine when I was in my 20s. And, you know, literally created something out of nothing just because I wanted to get backstage at concerts. And so I used the entertainment angle, and I had graphic design skills, so I launched a magazine, and it opened up a lot of doors. So I think that after experiencing that, like, I got bit by the entrepreneurship bug, because you just see how you can make things happen for yourself. And the people running those offices, they were just like you know, they're no better than you, like the bosses of companies. I mean, who knows how they got that position? I mean, I'm sure they studied very hard, and most people deserve to be in the position that they're at. So no negativity to bosses out there, to people running companies, because that takes leadership.
I think too, like, you know, we talk about the next step, right? There's a process. You know, you make that mindset leap, and then there's a process you're gonna have to go through. Like, if you're gonna start a brand, you're starting a company, understanding what you're gonna bring to this community, because in actuality, like, say if you have a service, or you have a skill set, or you have a product, you just want to sell to the masses out of the gate, right? So the process of all that, and then understanding like who your consumer demographic is, and then going from there and kind of like knowing what it takes to run a business, because you have to go make something or buy something and then resell it. And if you're going to resell it, how do you get to that network of people? Which will be the next episode. How do you get to that network of people to kind of share your story, or share your widget, share your service with them, to kind of monetize that and bring a dollar value to it, so you can kind of keep doing this? I mean, the ultimate game here is to have fun and getting paid, right? You know, sometimes you have fun getting paid, it's not work. You know, it's the story of my life. Every day's been fun since day one. And don't get me wrong, I have bad days, but I'd say 99.9% of the time it's all good days. Yeah,
you can still work for someone else if you have a passion for the product. You don't necessarily have to branch out and have your own product. Something we're doing also with the show right now is affiliate marketing. That's something I've been researching a lot lately, which mainly is helping other products get more brand awareness. And there's a lot of that going on right now because of social media and influencers. That's literally what they do, is try a product and give it a good review. And
that makes complete sense, because the evolution of getting the word out in media right now is a lot faster, and it's a lot quicker. You know, like, on top of like changing your mind, going through the process, you have to get to the root, right? To root of your consumer, like, right? And I really think nowadays that as a brand person or somebody selling something, you can get to the consumer really, really fast. You know, whether it's through IG, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through TikTok, whether it is, however you look at it. Like, instead of, I mean, just thinking about the whole hashtag program, right? Like, okay, hashtag lowered cars. And then it's like, boom, you're right to that community already. Then you start cherry picking what your style and you like, and you start going from there. So like, knowing understanding your market, like just like affiliate marketing, you know, there's a need for that, and there's a want for that, to where people can monetize and get paid to be an ambassador for something, you know. So it's like getting to the root of that consumer demographic, or that core consumer, to sell your product in hopes to kind of get to the next level, you know. Especially in entrepreneurism, it's like, you know, you can sell to everybody all day long, but sometimes if you don't resonate that right message, they'll go away just as fast. So if you can sell to a specific consumer type, and then from there let them be the ambassador of your product and let it resonate out, then now you have constant rollover, and then it becomes 2-3 degrees out where you're making money, you know. Like, it's like when you start a brand, right? You don't make money off your friends. I'm not going to make money off giving you a t-shirt, but your friends that want to buy the t-shirt, you better believe I'm going to make money. So it's kind of like one of those things, right? It's getting to the root, especially in entrepreneurship. You have to get to the root of what you want to do and who you want to sell to, because if you don't, you're going to miss the boat. And I see it all the time with brands. Again, you know, I've mentioned this in past podcasts. Market to everybody. I mean, market to everybody. You're just going to waste money, right? Like, go directly and make less money out of the gate, but know that your product is working. Because if you're resonating your message to that specific consumer and you don't have the right product, they'll tell you. You know, they'll tell you. It's like your friends telling you, man, you're a jackass, stop being a jackass. You know, hey, that's not the right product for us. We don't like that. You need to change the color. Now we're supporting you. It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah. And we're big on content. I think content is a version of marketing. I could say that we're doing affiliate marketing because of the business directory that we have.
Yeah.
We want to help shine a light on the local business owners that really aren't doing anything as far as like content, like a content strategy, which to me is a huge part of a marketing strategy. If you are an entrepreneur out there watching this, I hope you're doing some sort of content, because that is what opens conversations and gets people interested in you, and you have to do that. You know, I think everybody knows that video is like overtaking everything. I mean, Gary Vee says next is going to be audio. I love audio. I listen to audiobooks all the time, but Gary Vee is literally saying that pretty soon we're not even going to want to watch anything. I don't know how true that is, but he's thinking that, like, you know, everybody's going to be telling Alexa to order food for us. Like, Alexa, hey, you know.
Yeah, I think it's already there. You know, with Uber Eats, like, you can order from your bedroom half asleep and it's going to show up in an hour. When you get up, it's already done and cooked, man. I
love that.
I got a godson, man, that's working. He's making money, and his dad, I was with him the other day. We're golfing, and he's like, dude, your godson's just spending money on stupid. What do you mean? He just orders Uber Eats from the room, and there's all this food in the refrigerator. No, you don't spend your money on that. Make your ass pay for car insurance. So I made his ass pay for car insurance to let him know, like, you don't spend your money on stupid shit that matters. But I think too, you know, like, going back to what you were talking about, I think, you know, it's sharing that content creation, it's sharing information. Because once you get to who you're going to talk to, how do you start sharing that information to that community, to that hashtag, to the community that you're trying to sell to? Because I mean, that's the challenges. To me personally, I think, you know, marketing is such a broad terminology, and sharing is such expansive, right? Like, it's so humongous. Like, the question is, how do you share, who do you share it to, and what do you share? You know, so how you do it is obviously, you know, the quickest way is through social media, TikTok. I mean, shit, man, everything's on the phone now. You can you can have a business, spend 2 hours a night on it and figure it out, and then find out how to monetize it, and boom, you wake up the next morning and ching, 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 people are ordering shit off you, man. It's that easy if you can figure it out. But figuring it out is the hard part, right? It's like the lotto,
years.
right?
I mean, that's saying 10 years to become an overnight success is very true. You know, I feel like I've been doing marketing for way longer, and we are constantly learning, trying to educate ourselves, because technology changes every single second. I do watch a lot of Gary Vee's content, and something he said the other day that I thought was so cool. He said that rather than trying to say you're an expert at something, you can say, and you feel like you're not, because a lot of people have imposter syndrome. Yeah. Like, they don't feel like they have enough knowledge to, you know, why would anyone look at them or listen to them? He said, just change that word from expert to enthusiast. Yeah. And it's true. I'm like, that's just like everything.
Or passion, right? Like, like
we are marketing enthusiasts. Okay?
Yeah, I'm not like the marketing guru. I know a lot of smarter people than me, but man, I enjoy marketing. I love marketing. It's fun, and coming up with strategy and all that shit. Like, yeah, I enjoy that shit. I don't say myself like the king brand strategist, because there's so many people out there, so many smarter people out there. But then again, it's such a big word, like, depending on what you're marketing to. But man, I just have passion for it. I don't even label myself as a marketing person.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And speaking of just trying all kinds of things and trying to figure out, you know, what works for you, I really like to listen to audiobooks. Is kind of what we were talking about. And one I'm listening to right now is called The Four, and it's a audiobook about Google, Amazon, Facebook, and I can't remember what's the fourth one, but all the big corporate search engine. That literally oversee, they're like the overlords of the internet. It's a book about them and why they grew to this massive entity that they are. So if you are trying to find your way, that is a great book, but it focuses on digital marketing. And so I tend to always think that everything leads back to digital marketing, but I guess that's not really true, but I'm so immersed in it that that's all I see. So
I beg to differ on that, right? See, I see it as digital marketing is one part of the trifecta, right? So I think that's where I think the challenge of like these synergies of all of us coming together and sharing the skill set and helping small businesses get to the next level works, because you see the world your way, I see the world my way, and there's such great assets to bring together to be able to convey a message for somebody to get them to the next level of whatever they need to get to. So I truly believe that.
Yeah, we were having a meeting before this podcast about a new client we'll be onboarding, and he may be a guest. We won't tell you who it is, but really successful business owner from Bellflower. So doing great things with his club. Yeah, we were going over a plan that we're presenting to him, and that was the first thing Ari said. Is like, what about the print, aspect for his marketing strategy, which they all work well together. It's just like merging offline and online, because we're all real people, right? We're not all wearing goggles every day yet and going into the metaverse. I don't even think I want the world to go in that direction. I mean, like, I can't imagine, like,
that's crazy.
Everybody in the world settling for that.
But gosh,
I don't think people are going to settle.
Can you imagine, like, the cool content we can build? Like, it was just interesting. So we just had elections this past March, right? And I was telling a colleague of mine, he's a pretty big guy, and I just turn on my YouTube at night because I watch these random channels. I mean, I watch everything from like lowriders to surfing to like trap and skeet shooting to cooking channels, and I'd go on and his commercial would come up every time on YouTube. I'm like, bro, dude, what is up, dude? Like, every time I turn my YouTube on, your face pops up and your campaign pops up, which was amazing, because just think in the metaverse, something comes up.
I dread that. I hope
comes up and it's like,
that's not in our lifetime. I really hope.
I know, but
it's like the movie Click. You remember that movie with Adam Sandler?
Yeah. But it's like in that, like when we market as an entrepreneur, it's maintaining. How do you maintain this status quo for you as a brand to get to the next level? Like, okay, you sold 2 widgets. How do you sell 4 widgets?
Right.
And then there's that process, right? Like, how do you, reinvest in the cost of goods sold to reinvest to make margin, and then go up to the next level. So maintaining is huge too in being an entrepreneur, because like you have to maintain your skill set to make sure that when a client comes to you or comes to us, we can kind of get them to the next level, right? Mm-hmm. Because marketing is different. It's changing every day. It's not the same. I mean, I remember in the days of like marketing was like stickers all over everywhere. You just spend like $5,000 on a sticker and just give it to the army, and they just plaster the whole 10 cities, right? And it's like, whoa. And it got to the point where when I'm driving, I'm like, yo, like the stops, like I'm at a light, it's the red, yellow, and green. And then you're making a left-hand turn and you're seeing what stickers are all there, man. Because like it's one of those things, like. But now information's so fast, there's so many ways to maintain your brand in someone's eye. And there's 2 parts to this, right? You maintain your brand to somebody. At the same time, the person you're maintaining it to looks at it as noise, because they're getting like ads from different brands and you and them. It's like all this marketing and like all these commercials is like, dude. So there's a balance here, man.
I know. That's why YouTube's pushing their premium channel.
Yeah, I get it,
ads.
man. I get it.
That's where I am 80% of the time. I mean, the only reason I switch over to cable is like to watch Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Because they have Shark Tank marathons, and it'll just be playing all day, and I love it because they have so many small segments, right?
Yeah.
It's like the business pitches, and then all the sharks say, well, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, and then they try and make a deal at the end, and then
what's the
like
word they say? How do you come up with the percentage of what your company's worth?
Oh, gosh.
I'm mind blank right now.
I think they double.
But I just
for projected value?
No. There's a word they use. Anyways, we'll figure it out.
I don't know. They use it on Shark Tank all the time?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, that's crazy.
I don't know, it's a word. So follow up, man. Like being an entrepreneur, man, you have to follow up, right? Like with your brand, you have to follow up. You always have to chase the business.
Yeah, you can't be scared of the phone call. I always say that. I am quick to pick up the phone, and you probably don't think that because of this one particular client. But I do.
Yeah, right.
I know the exception to him. But honestly, we do have conversations outside of the conversations that he likes to pull you into.
Yeah.
But I am never scared of facing a problem, facing an issue, because when it comes to your clients, you cannot run from that.
Nope.
The sooner you can put it out, the better. You just can't ignore problems. But that's just
Correct.
like business 101.
Yeah. No, yeah, follow-up is huge because that can give you a really good ticker and a taste of like what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. If you're going the right direction, you know, like it's hard to like listen to constructive criticism, but sometimes constructive criticism is like the best form of
Like correcting your path or whatever.
yeah, you know, like I mean realistically, you know, when you use this word entrepreneurism or hustle, grind, business, it's one of those things where I truly believe, you know, out of the things that we just talked about, like once you jump over, it's the mindset that you're in, because if you don't get your mind ready for this, meaning like feeling comfortable being uncomfortable all the time, like it's always changing. I mean, you know,
And being your own boss.
I'm sure managing like 4 or 5 different clients right now is a pain in the ass, or billing's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, being your own boss is rad, trust me. It allows free time, but it's work,
It is,
man.
but you take the wins and you take the losses, right?
And you have to balance too. Like I truly believe, you know, like that'd be my last point today would be balance. You know, balance is key, man, because if you balance and you're even level-headed from like your continuing education, your professional development, and always learning and listening to podcasts, and you can still go through this process and use the information you learn here into your process, I think you'll be that much better of a person. Because one thing about being an entrepreneur is you just don't have all these conferences you can go to. They're usually like networking circles and you're connecting the dots, and then it's not like somebody presents to you and you get this amazing amount of information that's specific to your business set, right? It's very general.
You have to do your own research.
You got to do your own research. You got to get deeper. Or how do I take that and switch it so it works for me? So,
exactly.
you know, with that, it's one of those things where, you know, it's the grind.
So we just want to give a shout out to one of our business store owners on SoCal Source. Check out Ethan's one-stop shop. Go to socalsource.com, and any order that comes through from socalsource.com will get a free gift. And you know, Ethan, shout out to Ethan. I've tried the products. I really like them. I am reordering. He delivered them for me, and his customer service is amazing. But on top of that, I love what I purchased from him, and I will definitely reorder from him. So go ahead and give his store a shot and go check him out. Find him, Ethan's One Stop Shop, and you will see him on socalsource.com. While you're there, if you're a business owner, go ahead and create your own free account, and we will have another person we can shout out. And just go ahead and tag us, look us up on Instagram, and we'd love to be mentioning your store on our next episode. So I hope we talked enough about entrepreneurs. Is it entrepreneurialism? I feel like it's entrepreneurship. I feel like ism is the act of doing something, so I always want to say that. But I hope you enjoyed this conversation on entrepreneurship, and we'll see you in the next episode, guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And shout out to Carly and Daniel.
Yeah. Super Shaka. Super Shaka.